He's ecstatic out there.
200 steals, over 200 steals this year. Now, Steve Kerr's not going to be happy about that. Trae Young gets the ball. They swing it. Yes. Hawks hit the
Can we
bucket.
count the steps?
Walking all the way to Marietta.
1, 2,
6 steps.
3.
Wow.
And the Hawks hang 40.
4, 5, 6.
That might be the greatest one of all time.
Yeah. Kerr not thrilled, obviously. LeVert gets the bucket, though, in the end. Fourth quarter, Trae misses the 3. Brandon Pajemski gets the board. The kick ahead to Jimmy for the layup.
Think those guys got out in Atlanta the night before?
Maybe.
In the middle of beat.
All right. This time another steal. Moody. Another leak out by Jimmy in the jam. Butler with 25. Hawks up 8. Young
They made this close.
will drive here. Floater. He finishes it off. Trae with
wings undefeated.
25, 10, and 5 for Trae. Hawks win. With the Warriors losing this game and the Clippers winning on Sunday, just one game separates 6 through 8 in the West as these 3 teams battle to avoid the play-in. All right, let's welcome in, as we have a developing story, our guy, Youngmisuk. Look at that view.
God.
Look at that view from Miami.
Come
Literally.
on.
By the way, the Heat hate it when they say that they play on South Beach because they don't. They play in downtown Miami. But is literally on South Beach, okay? So, look, before we get to Jimmy's return, what's the latest on Steph's status?
Sedano, I'm sorry I couldn't do this from Star Island at Pat Riley's house or on his yacht. I don't have it like you do. But I did get to watch Steph Curry today in a little bit after practice. Now, they didn't scrimmage today. You did hear a lot of yelling and shouting out of the gym, which is something you don't normally hear from Warriors practices, so they seem pretty amped up. Steph did some shooting. Steve Kerr said he looked good moving. He made a lot of shots. And then he got in an individual workout after the practice that was closed to the media. He has been upgraded to questionable for tomorrow. They will see how his body responds and maybe see how he feels after his pregame warm-up. I got to tell you guys, he looked pretty good in the little that we saw after practice. He is definitely trending in the right direction to return for tomorrow night.
Okay, sounds good, We appreciate it, buddy. Don't go too far because we got to talk to you a little more in just a moment. But speaking of the Heat, they came into this weekend on the worst losing streak since 2008. All right, now here come the Charlotte Hornets, and LaMelo looking to play spoiler. Andrew Wiggins, a big night for him.
Wiggins trying to drive to the.
And here's Andrew Wiggins, Euro. Heat up 6. Wiggins again.
And he doesn't have any beef going into play in the Warriors either.
No, none. He loves the Warriors. He said so after the fact. Here's Tyler Hero.
So maybe he should be the one that's mad, right?
Yeah.
Hero capitalizing on the LaMelo turnover. Wiggins with the step back.
Is that a career high?
And when he's good, he looks like he could just be an all-star.
Let's hear from
the best thing about that is we've been so engulfed in our situation right now that, if I were to be up here and say I haven't really noticed the schedule, everybody would roll their eyes. I literally haven't really been able to check out the schedule. We've been trying to get a damn win. Obviously, there'll be a lot of different, feelings about it. I probably won't express, all of them, and that's fair. But we had a great 5-year run. We didn't win the title, but only one team does.
All right, so back here with Ramona and Mark. And to put it bluntly, the Heat have struggled, okay? The Warriors have thrived since they traded Jimmy to Golden State. And he spoke with reporters just a moment ago. Let's take a listen.
This is basketball. This is very simple. I don't have all the emotions that everybody thinks that I'm gonna have. Like, it is what it is. I realized that I had some great years here. I've built some incredible bonds with some individuals in the organization, in the city, hell, in the state of Florida. But I'm going in there to hoop. I'm going in there to play basketball. Ain't nothing nobody say, nothing nobody do is gonna get me out of character. Nobody got me out of character whenever I was going through what I was going through this entire season with the suspension. It's another day for me.
All right, is here as well. So, you're in the 305, as we mentioned, as we clearly see behind you. What can we expect from Jimmy in his return against Miami?
I think he's going to be pretty focused, and I think you're going to see a Warriors team that definitely wants to make sure Jimmy Butler has a good game. Now, Jimmy yesterday spent time at his coffee shop. He was playing dominoes with the locals. A couple teammates came over, Draymond, Kevon Looney. He and Draymond definitely won, I think, 6 games of dominoes. He said he spent about 5 or 6 hours there. He said if he sees Pat Riley tomorrow, he's not going to say anything. He doesn't have much to say to many people, although he was very complimentary about still having a lot of friends on that side and certainly having a lot of love for the Miami fan base. He was asked, what about the fans that might have some disdain for you? And he said, hey, look, there are two sides to this story. Maybe it's 51% him, 49% the Heat, whatever you want to make it. And he was also asked about perhaps being portrayed as the bad guy. And he said, look, everywhere I've gone, I've kind of been portrayed as that. I have no problem playing the bad guy. It does not look like anything is going to knock him off his focus of trying to get a win against his former team and making sure the Warriors stay in that 6th spot as they try to stay out of the play-in.
All right, Mark, who will this mean more for, the Heat or Jimmy?
I'll say the Heat because Jimmy already got rewarded. Jimmy got paid. He's in a winning situation. It's like going back and the people that, you struggle with, they're struggling, but you're doing good. He's in a good spot. He's like Patti LaBelle. He got a new attitude, man. Like what Jimmy said, I talked to him a couple weeks ago. It's like, what do I have to complain about now? Like the organization's treating him great. They're winning. He got paid. All he's missing is his kids being in California. That's it. So I don't see him coming in bitter because everything he wanted in Miami
has worked out.
He got in Golden State.
Ramona?
I think it is the Heat that has more to prove right now because Jimmy could just point to the standings, right? They've been great since he joined the team. And I think Miami's going to handle this with class. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out there tomorrow and they have a highlight tribute video
they will.
for them.
I'd be very surprised.
And unless something goes off the rails tonight, tomorrow, check his social media. But so far, what I just heard him say sounded like his head was in the right place. He was saying all the right things.
Yeah.
And I remember Jimmy. What Ohm said is something that Jimmy has reiterated over and over. There's two sides to this story. So most of what we understand is why the Heat had to trade him, right? The way he sort of acted on the way out and sort of forced their hand there. But he has a whole list of reasons why he wanted out. And you can point to the contract, but I think there were some other reasons. When I spoke to him, I think there was a lot of feeling like he one day he will like to share. I said, why don't you do it right now? And he said, no, if I say anything, it'll be to Shaq. To Shaquille O'Neal, and if you know your Miami history, which you do, Shaquille O'Neal also asked for a trade from Miami and got into a fist fight with Pat Riley.
Well, actually, he did not. He got traded after that alleged fist fight. It had nothing to do. He didn't ask for a trade at that point. The story was Uncle Jerome told Shaq, I think we're done here.
Yeah, I think we're done here.
Yeah.
So, I think, there's some bad blood there. But right now, Jimmy's been great in Golden State. Everything for him is gravy after that.
By the way, this is not, in regards to Miami, this is not LeBron coming back after winning 2 titles, where they absolutely wanted to win that first game against LeBron.
I think when he had a meeting with Pat Riley, and he kind of alluded to it in practice today, almost there, if he could respond to it, he's basically like, when he had that meeting, post-season meeting, no contract, you could tell his role was going to change. I know the role part was really big to him, especially at this stage of his career. And I think he knew after that meeting that it was time to go.
I will push back on the role. They wanted to change the role because they wanted the guards to be more involved to preserve Jimmy. That was their position.
Also, he hadn't been that available.
Correct.
Like, if you're going to be in and out of the lineup, you've got to change it to focus on guys who are in the lineup.
For sure. Ohm, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. By the way, tell those guys 6 isn't real dominoes, okay? That's not real. It's 9, okay?
That's right, Joe.
I will say one thing. When you talk about the Heat fans who had disdain, they just practiced at Barry, a small college here. There were 100 kids waiting outside for Jimmy to come out. And as soon as he came out, they mobbed him.
Yeah, I believe that. Omi, have a cafecito for me.
He's got an off day there. Let's let him go. Go off to coffee.
Go get in the beach. Go get in the water. All right, coming up, tourney time. Check in. What are the scouts saying about Cooper Flagg and which Hall of Famer his game most resembles? Keep it locked right here. More NBA Today is next.